Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday Values Assembly. We're back from half term, and I hope that you've managed to have a good half term. I hope you've managed to have some rest. I hope you've managed to have some relaxation and some fun, and that you've seen some friends and some family. Now, I'm sure that you've heard that from Thursday we're having another national lockdown. This time, though, it'll be a bit different to the one in spring, because some things that weren't allowed there we can still do. So you will still be able to come to school, we'll still be able to teach you, you'll still be able to see your friends at school. But we won't be able to go round the houses of our friends and some of our family. So it's going to be really, really tough for a lot of people. That's why the value of the month for this month, which is care, is so important. And I think that over the next month or so, we're going to be needing a lot of people to care for us, and a lot of times when we are going to need to care for others. So in order to help us think about that, I want us to think back to the last lockdown, back over the spring and the summer, and some of the people who may have shown care towards us. So let's click on this. Okay, so here is a picture of a doctor, and the doctor is clearly helping the lady in pink who needs some support from her. Now, I don't know whether you or anyone in your family have seen a doctor or been to the doctors or to the hospital in the last 6 months, but we have seen doctors and nurses like this lady here showing remarkable amounts of care. I don't know where we would be in this country without our doctors and our nurses. Every day they've been able to care and show care, even when things have been really difficult, to many people. I know that in my family, my children have been to see the doctor in the past 2 or 3 months for various things, and every time they've walked in, we've seen a doctor with a big smile and a really big heart, wanting to help us, wanting to support us, and most importantly of all, wanting to care for us. That's an incredible job. Now, this gentleman here, I guess a lot of you probably don't want to see. He's a dentist. Oh, I hate going to the dentist. In fact, I don't know many people who enjoy going to the dentist. But if you've ever had toothache before, it is painful. It is absolutely awful. And it's at those times when we're in either intense pain or intense need that we absolutely need someone to step up and care for us. Just last night, my son was saying, Alfie was saying, oh, my gums hurt, my teeth hurt. And I said, well, we need to go and see the dentist. And straight away he said, nope, I'm not going. I'll be fine. Well, actually, he won't be fine. And we can do a lot of things at home to care for him, but we are not dentists. So I'm going to have to phone today to make an appointment at the dentist. Again, whenever I've been to the dentist, and we try and go quite regularly, I never walk in and find him grumpy. I never walk in and find him with his arms folded and a sad smile, a sad look on his face, not like this gentleman, and saying to me, oh, I don't really want to treat you. We never see that, because dentistry, just like nursing and being a doctor, is what's called one of the caring professions. They care for us and they look after us. And I know that if I take Alfie to the dentist, it may be a little bit painful when he's there, when they scrape your teeth, and no one really likes that, do they? But at the end of it, he will have shown his care, and Alfie will be a lot better. Let's hope so anyway. I'll keep you updated. Now, this is another one of the caring professions. This lady here is an optician. Now, I know that many of you have been to opticians in the past when you've had to have your eyes checked, or when you've needed to have glasses or anything to do with your eyes. It's a very, very strange thing, isn't it? Having to have someone stare at you so closely, or to look at all of those charts on the wall, trying to see whether you can see the numbers or the letters. But again, when you walk into the opticians, I've never been into the opticians where they look grumpy, they look sad, or they look miserable. Every time I've been to the opticians or taken any of the children to the opticians, we're always greeted with a really warm smile. We're told to sit down, and the optician does his or her work, and we come out better. We come out with a new set of glasses. We come out understanding how our eyes work, or we come out knowing how to look after our eyes better. Again, it's one of those caring professions. Someone whose job it is to care. Now, back in March, April, May, I'm sure that like many of us, you went out every Thursday at 8 o'clock and clapped for the NHS and clapped for the caring professions that we've talked about. And I just picked three. Doctors and dentists and opticians. There are lots and lots of other people who work in the caring professions. Carers, for example. I know that some of your parents are carers and go in and help look after really old or really vulnerable people. Lots and lots of different professions that we wanted to say thank you to for all of the work that they were doing. And the work that a dentist does and an optician does and a doctor does in some ways is very, very different. But in one way, it is exactly the same. They care. They care for other people before themselves. And I want you to think about a time I know you will have had in the last 3, 4, 5 months where someone has cared for you. It might not be a doctor, it might not be a dentist or an optician or a carer. It might be a parent, it might be a friend, it might be a neighbour. Someone who has cared. Now, when we talk about caring professions, this is probably not a picture that you would expect. This is a shopkeeper. You can see that there's some goods and some things in his shop, and that he is standing outside just looking as if he's looking after the shop. Now, you wouldn't immediately say, well, that's a caring profession, like a doctor or a dentist or an optician. But when lockdown happened, you will remember that there are lots of people, some old people, some ill people, who couldn't go out. So a lot of them, just like my father-in-law, tried to get slots for the Tesco van to come and deliver to his house. And everyone was trying to get a Tesco van to come. And unfortunately, they were all taken. So my father-in-law wasn't allowed out because he was poorly. How was he going to get his food? Well, first of all, we started to do his shopping for him. But then our local shop put out on Facebook that they would deliver food parcels to people who were having to shield at home, people who were old or vulnerable. And the shopkeeper went on the email and said, what kind of things do you want? My father-in-law put together a list, and the next day the shopkeeper turned up in his little van, knocked on the door, left the food parcel for him, and then went away again. And he did it the next week, and the next week. He was showing his care by doing what he could do to help people who needed help. He couldn't probably do a heart operation or sort out your eyes or put in a filling, But he was showing an equal amount of care, I think, by saying, here's what I can do. I've got a shop, I've got some food, I know there's people who can't get to me, so I'm going to get to them. So I would actually say that the shopkeeper was as much of a caring profession as a doctor or a dentist or an optician. We can all care for others. We can all show our care, sometimes in huge ways, like the shopkeeper or the dentist, or sometimes in very small ways. A smile. Noticing when someone is a bit upset or sad. Taking the time to spend some time with other people. So, what about you? Can you be in a caring profession? Yes, you can. As I've said, you don't need to be a doctor or a dentist or an optician. You can just be you. This week, find out how you can care for someone. And you can be a carer. You can show care. And I know that over the next 3-4 weeks, we are all going to need people who care for us. So let's start this week by caring for someone else. Have a good week. Enjoy your first week back at school. And hopefully I'll have a chance to see you around school in the next few days.